It is my duty. It is my solemn duty to inform you all, the Kiwi Farms, that the state of Minnesota and the Supreme Court has found that Nicholas Robert Rekieta is to be disbarred from practicing law.
You know, I didn't really know what to do in that situation. I've never felt a weightless feeling, so I just hate it for my boy Caleb and a bunch of other people. So, yeah, you can see it right here. Like, it just gets weightless right there and just turns. And as soon as the weight shifts, like the balance of the car shifted, it just went right. So, just hate it for everybody. I really do.
It's safe to say he's riding a wave of emotions, like heartbreak, emotion. It was fun.
Cody, my man, go get your head checked out again. You need to make sure you're all right there after that one, calling it fun riding through the infield sideways. So I don't know if I'd call that one fun.
Yeah, all the casters are like embarrassed. Like, what an idiotic fucking thing to say. You fucked up and ruined these people's vehicles, and now you're calling it fun? Like, it's not fun for them, you fucking asshole. Okay, now speaking of Mr. Rekieta, there are some updates in regards to Rekieta. So, Rekieta made some comments, and I think that this was even in Vito's live stream chat. Or maybe the podcast. No, that's the Onion. So this is Patrick Melton from Nobody Likes Onions or whatever. Patrick Melton was the guy who people supercut all the times that he like openly made jokes about raping kids. And it was like a 4-minute long compilation of him just openly threatening like Aaron M. Holt's family and Rekieta. And it was just like the most like weird. I don't think Rekieta, they're friends. But it was like the most bizarre, disgusting thing ever. So, I don't think I have the Baldo Him on this computer. No, sorry. But for whatever reason, Rekieta loves this guy. And maybe, hey, maybe Dax told him, like, having like a pedophile lightning rod sitting next to me has really helped with drawing A-log attention off of me and onto Vito. And Vito's like so dumb, he's like missing parts of his brain. He's just like this fat, gross pedophile. So he doesn't really feel pain, you know what I mean? You can just beat the fuck out of Vito and he won't even feel it. So Dick realized that this was like a huge boon to have this infinitely more contemptible person sitting next to him who doesn't like feel any pain because he's too retarded to feel pain like a sea sponge. So Rekieta is trying to like imitate this perhaps, and he thought like, oh, this Patrick Melton guy, he's a big fat gross that makes completely inappropriate comments about other people's families and kids. Maybe he can be my sea sponge that people can make fun of instead of me. So maybe he's trying to set that up like a long-term gambit. Maybe I can get this guy to like be a fucking next to me. It's the best theory I have. Maybe you guys have better comments. Anyways, he says, just had a very emotional day with me and my wife. We are letting go of something that has amazing memories attached. It is so beautiful. The hard part was just being thankful for how, and then it cuts off. He replies to somebody saying, yes, couple of things to work out so that I can do specifically that and not fall into other shit. Working on me, wish it was faster, but I want to do it right. And then he says to Pest, I will likely be sentenced in late February. Once I'm sentenced, everything should be good. I think that his plea hearing is later this month, but I think he's hinting that he's going to either take an Alfred plea or a no contest plea or plead guilty. I imagine that they're not going to let him Alfred plea out of this because like he has to, I think that they're going to let him walk with either probation or nothing at all and take a felony like they did with Ralph. I think that's their goal. Like if you want to be like a strung out crackhead endangering your kids, well, you can do that, but we're going to have to take your guns. Like, that's going to be the arrangement. It says, did you tell April I said hello? And then he says, yes, literally yes. So April's still around. I'm sure the wife loves that. I'm sure the kids love that. Women are beautiful when they find themselves beautiful. Usually they have a list of things to improve. Men too, but I'm not a So what did he lose, chat? This is out of order. I'm not going to read all this. For whatever reason, Nick Rekieta, on Tuesday, published this extremely, extremely long, like, how to be, like, a manipulator. And I've read through this. It doesn't really make any sense. Rekieta should never become a writer. He has no idea how to convey thoughts coherently. He doesn't know how to be succinct. He doesn't know how to explain complex concepts in a way that's easily digestible, even when people are like actively trying to figure out what the fuck you're talking about. So it's like all this bullshit, and he's basically, I think he's trying to make a roundabout point about how evil people, like maybe Kino Casino and Aaron M. Holt, have like created this mythos around him with their evil manipulation tactics, but it just makes him seem like he's a wannabe sociopath or whatever, like a wannabe manipulator, like a guy who studies like pickup artist tactics. And it's just really bizarre. Not really sure what the fucking point is, but he made sure to let everybody know he's a one more time. So what did they lose was the question. And the answer is the Hoe Shack. April M. Holt's Hoe Shack has been sold for $380,000. It is likely, as I said, now that his house has been formally listed for auction on Zillow to the tune of estimated $850,000, that he will be using this money to pay off whatever debt he has with the bank. If I remember correctly, his loan amount was something to the tune of $320,000. I believe it was a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, not a reverse mortgage, as I had previously said, which is a different concept that uses the home equity line of credit. So the auction house estimates that this will be an $850,000 house, but he took out a $300,000+ home equity line of credit HELOC against it. So because he's just sold the other house for that, and presumably he owns that free and clear as well, that he will use that to pay off that loan, and then he'll have some money in the bank to continue paying Randazza to skin him like a fucking cat. An expression that I remember, an expression that if long-term listeners might remember is something that I learned from Rekieta. I never heard the expression there are many ways to skin a cat before that. So he's getting skinned in many different ways as one cat, unfortunately. Very painful process. I like their description, by the way. This foreclosure property is a great opportunity to invest in this neighborhood and generate potential profit. Save this property on auction today to receive updates. And that's just an advertisement for their platform. This is an investment home. You don't actually want to live here. This is the home you want to rent out to people. You don't, trust me, some weird up shit. We don't even know why, but there's a bookcase in one of the kids' bedrooms that opens up to a sex dungeon. You don't want to live here, but it's a great investment. There are people out here in Spicer, Minnesota who would benefit greatly from this sex dungeon. Then, finally, as some breaking news released just today, it is my privilege. I don't want to sound too gloaty. It is my duty. It is my solemn duty to inform you all, the Kiwi Farms, that the state of Minnesota and the Supreme Court has found that Nicholas Robert Rekieta is to be disbarred from practicing law. Because, not for anything fun, he is to be prohibited from practicing law because he did not keep up with the state's CLE, or continuing legal education. The law is a very fluid thing. Laws are passed every year, obviously. So if a lawyer doesn't really keep up with his education, then he can fall behind and be misinformed and uninformed about how the state operates. So they make you take classes every year. Certain attorneys that I speak to call CLE a fucking racket to keep making legal programs money for the rest of your life. But either way, the spirit of the program is that if you are a non-practicing lawyer, not keeping up with your legal education, you're not really fit to practice law. And in this case, Rekieta has other things going on in his life, so he has fallen behind on his obligations to the state to continue his education in modern legal theory or legal education. And he's disbarred. He is no longer a small lawyer from central Minnesota. Or as some people say, southern Minnesota. I remember somebody complained he's not actually in central Minnesota. He's like from south Minnesota or some shit. Anyways, he's no longer a lawyer. For now. Presumably, if he continues his CLE, he will be permitted to practice law. As it says here, it is hereby ordered that the lawyers referenced in Exhibit A are placed on CLE in voluntary restricted status as defined in Rule 12 of the CLE rules. It is further ordered that removal from CLE in voluntary restricted status is conditioned on compliance with the requirements of Rule 12D of the CLE rules, and the order shall be served upon the lawyers referenced in Exhibit A. So what it does, the board, the bar, submits all the lawyers not in good standing. Nick Rekieta is apparently in good company here. There he is. Nicholas Robert Rekieta, a lawyer under Exhibit A who is now on involuntary hold, voluntary restricted status until further notice. Such is life. Life comes at you fast, bro. Rekieta has talked about his plea deal on live stream, and Patrick Melton, who was the guy where there was that 3-minute long supercut of him salivating over kids. For whatever reason, Rekieta really loves to hang out with people like Vito Gesualdi, who admits that he wants to have with children, who's also friends with Max Carson, who made songs about how he wants to f kids, and then Patrick Melton, who also has talked at length for years about how he wants to have with kids. Very weird ensemble of people, not necessarily my personal choice, but he's going through a rough patch. He joined this guy's stream, and he talked about what he wants to do for a plea deal. He says that he is pleading guilty in February, or I think it's on the 21st or 18th. I'm not sure when the plea deal is. I think it's probably by next stream, if I had to guess, or maybe by the end of the month. He's expecting to plead guilty and then be sentenced in February. So I think part of the deal is that the state is dropping their case against April Imholt, and I believe that due to the timing. Oh yeah, the plea hearing on January 24th. So, oh bro, that's 11 a.m., dude. That's exactly when my stream starts. Oh, we're resubmitting our media request to record that. I might have to get the fucking North Dakota guy out from sorry, how to record that. I need to talk to him actually, because we're getting our media request in. It's because he's expected to plead guilty based off filings. It's a weird thing in the state of Minnesota. You're not allowed to record a proceeding before someone's been found guilty, or no pretrial hearings unless they're guilty. But he hasn't formally pled guilty yet, so there's like a special carve out where if they're expected to plead guilty, you can submit to record the plea hearing. If they're and then I guess if they plead innocent regardless, then you have to not retroactively not record it. So it's a weird thing, but I think we should get access. So I guess it'll be right on time for the stream to start if everything works out. That's 11 a.m. Central Standard, so I think is that an hour ahead or an hour behind? That'd be it. It would be directly at noon. Okay, great, wonderful, good timing. So they're dropping it against April, so they believe that's part of the plea hearing. He got her cut out of the prosecution. In the thing, by the way, he explicitly means he's taking a guilty plea. He talks about Aaron Imholt's money. He said that he hired an expert on drug testing. He says that he did this because he wants to see. This is weird that he wants to talk about like drug testing to like prove that he's innocent and didn't give his daughter, but couldn't use it in court for evidence. It's like, what a cop out. It might even be recounting, depending on what he's pleading guilty to. He says that he was bragging that he paid off his mortgage, but of course he paid off his mortgage because he fucking sold the other house. So that's it's not really paying off your mortgage. I mean, I guess it is technically, but it's not like a bragging right if you have to sell half your property to do it. If you have a $500,000 estate and you sell half of it to pay off the other half with that equity, then you didn't really pay it off. You just kind of downsized. Then he says, sorry, you don't know how to leverage debt. Yeah, not many people are like, he really thinks he's like the Donald Trump of like debt management. So I took my existing assets and I furloughed that into a HELOC locked in a 0.5% interest rate for the next 30 years, super low payments. And then I furloughed that money into a trust account so I could access already. It's like, you're not like a financial advisor, you're like a fucking junkie. And then implicitly blamed Aaron for his daughter testing positive for claims to have video evidence of cops touching his daughter's hair with contaminated gloves. I guess we'll find out, because once you're guilty, that shit's going into evidence. Do you think he put that into the plea deal, that all the body cam footage won't be released? Do you think that's how they got him to plead guilty? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have to sue to get the body cam footage. And then Nick cut off ties with one of his last gun guards, Spectre, the Spectre who pretended to be an attorney for some fucking reason. And then he got this cringe-ass tattoo of like a Japanese shit, and then tattooed Japanese dog shit on his fucking skin like a fucking. So if you're concerned at all that this man has in any way learned any lessons, he has not. He has not learned a single fucking thing. I imagine that he'll be back doing drugs on stream by the end of the year. maybe next year. Maybe it's a bit too early to say that. But he's not a fucking thing. Completely. The umbrella guy says that he wants to arrange a boxing match between them. God, that's so fucking gay. I'm so sick of hearing. I don't ever want to hear the word boxing ever again. Like, anytime these people on the internet bring up boxing, it's always the gayest fucking bullshit ever. So Rekieta is in court now, I think. I don't know if anything has come of this. Hold up. Okay, I'm going to play this video, and then I'm going to look for as I play it, I'm going to look for the update.
Buckmaster says, it true you and April have been doing nitrous oxide to get high and pass drug tests? No. I don't know how doing nitrous oxide would help you pass a drug test. The way you pass a drug test is not doing drugs. That's just that. Buckmaster says, do you still stand by what you said and think Montegraph is a... advice of counsel says not to talk about that, but yes, my opinion has not changed. I have no reason to disbelieve anything I said about Montegraph. That Melton was ripened, so it was of age, or that melon was ripened, so it was of age. How did you know? Did you skirt check the melon? Buckmaster says you sound high as no, just sober. One thing that was funny to me. Now look, I know I sound a little bit different from before. There's some reasons for that that are not medical reasons, and mostly my speculation, but. A lot of little things have changed about me because I've been through a year of.
So he just sounds terrible. He calls Montegraph again, even though he's still being sued in federal court for state court for defamation. I am being told that his sentencing hearing his sentencing hearing is scheduled, which would imply that he has pled guilty. I'm not sure, though. Yeah, there's no update yet. It's happening today. If anything happens, super chat it in or something. I'm assuming that he's pled guilty if they have a sentencing hearing. He said he was going to plead guilty, but he's convicted at this point, I think. Has he formally pled guilty? Okay. Yeah, he sounds terrible. He looks unhappy. That angle, by the way, is extremely unattractive. It's just like a fucking nightmare setup. Oh well, shouldn't have done drugs around your kids like a fucking imbecile. He has completely unapologetic, by the way. He has absolutely no remorse. He has absolutely no Like, I'm sorry I did that. I shouldn't have done that. He's not learned anything. He's not become humbled. Like, because he managed to just sell half his property to get out of the lien that was placed on his home, like out of the foreclosure. His life is basically unchanged as he's like putting shit back together. He's probably back to where he was before his streams took off. He apparently made $500 on his live stream return, which I guess is like enough for groceries for that week. So if he manages to do that once a week, he'll be better off than Ethan Ralph, at least. He's unhappy he got caught, basically. It's actually kind of shocking to see. I'm surprised I can still be shocked, but it is crazy that he learned literally nothing. So, I mean, there's a good chance we'll be doing this again in 2026. That he'll be busted for doing again, or fucking ketamine, or some other bullshit. Like, why wouldn't he? Maybe he's learned not to live stream all super fucked up, but if you're super fucked up, you're gonna make bad decisions and live stream again. So, who knows? Yeah, the body cam footage, man. If he's pled guilty, we're gonna have to move on that like immediately. That's the next step. Rekieta's up to no good. A couple things have happened in the Rekieta front. First of all, Rekieta has, April has deleted all of her Twitter presence, all of her tweets, which leads some to wildly speculate what the fuck's happening. I guess we'll see. Nobody really knows yet. Nick made a Valentine's post on the 14th to seethe about random shit. I guess I'll read this. Rekieta says, Happy Valentine's Day. Hey guys, couple days late, but I've been spending the weekend with the family. But now that it's Valentine's Day, I can get away from my bitch wife. I just received one of my main components for my return to start making and shipping the 5K gift, so that's fun. Oh my god, that shit's never fucking happening. It's been interesting in some ways being relatively quiet for so long. The amount of insanity and discount reality from people is amazing. Currently, there's a crop of people, including a fat law tuber, who seem to believe I have some sort of influence over State v. Imholt, or that Lady Ara's lawyer is pushing something or talking to witnesses. This is outright false. Our lawyers have not contacted the Biscontes and are not representing us in State v. Imholt. Any thought to those ends are the product of Gino and Keanu, like Keanu Reeves, barely being coherent about their own reality. As for the fat law tuber marveling at why the state is taking this case far beyond the idea of where they should, it's possible that the prosecutor is prosecuting the case and that their determination of reasonableness is different from yours. It has nothing to do with me, but your opinion of me might be blinding your assessments. That said, apologies for things still take this long. There are multiple legal matters in various limbo stages, and at the end of the day, my life was laid on display. Not fully, but soon. Laid on display at the climax of some extremely tumultuous time. The ripples from everything going on, combined with the massive legal trouble, combined with the insane falsehoods being taken as truth, combined with private aspects of my life being laid out by weak and vindictive people, has had a mild impact, to say the least. The fallout is messy and ugly and mostly not for public consumption. The primary reason why I haven't fully resumed streaming is certain uncertainty over my mental state at stream time. I am not intent on bringing a show boring everyone with personal updates about my mood or outlook, schedule frustrations. I do intend to deliver a show that is a lightheartedly cynical look at law, government, and culture. I'm currently working on being able to consistently deliver that, but I'm no longer able to have substance crutch to convince myself that I'm doing great. So Valentine's Day gets away from the bitch wife and complains about his two boyfriends, Sean and Aaron Imholt. Nice thing to remind your wife of with the little locals post on Valentine's Day. Hey, remember the time that my idea of opening our relationship got your nudes shared around by a third man? Remember that? Remember how I did that to you? Happy Valentine's Day, sweetie. Great, awesome, wonderful post. Rekieta then super chatted to someone, I don't know who, probably based off who he usually super chats. He says, just picked up my subpoena, guess it's reunion time, hinting that he will be a witness at the Imholt revenge case. Nothing to say there except we'll see how it goes. Aaron, by the way, I don't pay as much attention to him, but he seems to be in a bit of a circus. Like, apparently he misrepresented himself as like a boxing coach at some point, and now like the gym has like disavowed him. He's facing charges for the non-consensual imagery of Kayla. He seems to be a bit of a dummy, chat. But I think that when he first had that conversation with PPP, I think that we all agreed that he was a bit of a dummy, chat, and we just went from there. Interesting. Don't know what else to say to that. And then this, by the way. So back when Rekieta was not fully f***ed up, he was trying to promote the racing career of one of his friends called Camelot. Camelot is best known for being like a sex pest weirdo. He's like extremely vulgar and is just like a coomer, like a total coomer. So he's like a redneck and he wants to be a sports car driver. So Rekieta tried to prop him up. And I think he's been in 2 prior accidents on the track before, which is obviously a big deal because unlike like other kinds of sports, an accident on a race course is very expensive, if not deadly. So let's see how he's doing now.
The incident involving 15 race cars right here, all over the place. Cleanup continues after this.
.200 square miles of soaring cliffs and endless
advertisements. Is that I think one of these vehicles has... Where is his at? Because they showed him talking. And I want to say he has like the Timcast on his race car. It says Nest. Oh, there it is, the blue one. It says Timcast on the hood. You see it? That's the one. Let's see what he did. So he's in the cars and he tries to skirt around. He hits the wall and then is unable to recover. Then dives left and directly hits that one car and crashes into like 3 or 4 other cars, which of course, when the cars are that tight together, causes other cars to hit each other. The fucking NASCAR car is on fire, but you can see that that's crazy. That's crazy. Look at how far back he goes in. He hits that. It's almost impossible to see. He hits that. Now he's behind the yellow car. He's completely stopped, I think, at this point, or like losing speed. He bumps into the blue car right there, behind the orange and white one. It looks like the South African flag. So he's back then his bumper hits the car behind him there. And now that car is pushing him because it's not stopped completely. That car catches on fire, I guess because the gas tank of his car is leaking out. And, like that's as like much damage as you can possibly. I'm trying to think of how you could better crash as many vehicles on a racetrack as humanly possible. Like how much more damage it's like trying to set up bowling pins. Like how do we get a strike? How do we possibly wipe out the entire track of contestants? Yeah, he totaled them. There's a video, I think. Let's find this. I didn't think about this until just now. I want to say they interview him and he let's see. This guy, I'll read this guy's post. Cheese balls. This is now your moment. You ready? NASCAR. Here, let me fill you in with a few details about NASCAR/ARCA. He's in ARCA. ARCA is what they call a feeder league for NASCAR. So the best drivers from this league have a chance of getting contracts with NASCAR directly, showing up on the big screen where all the rednecks watch. He says the driving standards in ARCA are so awful that it's a meme within stock car racing circles. The term ARCA brakes is a widespread joke due to their almost comedic propensity for driving full throttle into huge wrecks, either due to poor equipment or lack of skill. If you think Camelot's crash was embarrassing, just look up ARCA brakes compilation on YouTube and you'll see just how bad things truly are. Daytona is a massive oval track known for large pack racing. This is sometimes named restrictor plate racing due to the cars at one point, not anymore, having a metal plate in the engine to artificially reduce speeds to safer levels. Because if you are full throttle around the entire track, the only way to build up speed is by drafting other cars in a huge pack. Because of how tightly packed the cars can be in these packs, one person losing control will often wreck half the field with one crash. Everyone knows this as the big one. It is common and expected that multiple massive crashes like this will happen every race. Just in this particular race alone, there are 4 to 5 massive crashes, including a much more violent one than Cody's only a few laps later that sent a driver to the hospital. So Too Long didn't read. Kumalad's crash is indeed his fault, and he should be laughed at, but ARCA is not F1. Fiery 15-car crashes are so normal in ARCA that regular fans won't even remember it. I mean, I gotta say, that sounds like a nice watch. That's funny. Let's see. Oh, this is the interview. Great. I'm going to give this one a big thumbs up, too.
Well, you guys mentioned Cody Dennison, and the 11 was kind of at the forefront of all of this. Let's hear from him at the Care Center now. He's with Caitlin.
And released. Cody, I know you were just watching the replay. What did you see there from your seat?
Well,
he looks like J.D. Vance. Do you see the resemblance at all?
basically, when I was coming out of 4, the car got weightless, and I've never really felt anything like that. It's like the wheel went free, and as soon as the weight shifted back or the weight went back under it, it just went right into the wall. I didn't have any steering input at all. It was a very strange feeling, so I'm just glad everybody's all right, because that was a wild ride. It really was. It was kind of fun, you know. It's kind of fun going through the infield and just, you know.
That is pretty embarrassing.
It was like a roller coaster, but I'm
sure it's not fun for all the people who lost like thousands of dollars in their vehicles, though. I doubt they insure those fucking things. I don't think you can.
For everybody, because I know a lot of people spend money on it, and you know, so do I, and it just didn't work out, and you know, I didn't really know what to do in that situation. I've never felt a weightless feeling, so I just hate it for my boy Caleb and a bunch of other people. So yeah, you can see it right here. Like, it just gets weightless right there and just turns. And as soon as the weight shifts, like the balance of the car shifted, it just went right. So just hate it for everybody. I really do.
Thank you for your time. We're glad you're okay. Jamie?
Caitlin, I think it's safe to say he's riding a wave of emotions, like heartbreak, emotion. It was fun.
Cody, my man, go get your head checked out again. You need to make sure you're all right there after that one, calling it fun riding through the infield sideways. So I don't know if I'd call that one fun.
Yeah, all the casters are like embarrassed. Like, what an idiotic fucking thing to say. You fucked up and ruined these people's vehicles, and now you're calling it fun? Like, it's not fun for them, you fucking asshole. Tim Cast. Yep, that's our boy, Tim Cast. Good luck.